we will work until we bring these individuals to justice. We do have dozens of individuals that were attending the funeral that we are talking with right now to see if they are witnesses, if they saw anything. So we're working through that. We're following up on all leads. And again, we are confident we'll bring these individuals to justice.
Chief, did this happen inside from folks who were attending, or did someone come into the situation and insert themselves and open fire?
That is still being investigated, but it happened. The gunfire happened outside the church.
Chief, you said shooters. Is that confirmed? It's multiple?
That is not confirmed. We're looking into it.
What do you know about, as far as last we heard was there was a car you were looking for that went north on Redwood Road, is that correct?
Yes.
Have you heard anything further as far as traffic?
We're continuing to investigate that. We're pulling video surveillance from the surrounding area to see if we can identify information there. We are getting a lot of leads coming in from the public, and again, we're confident that we will.
You've got license plate readers here on Redwood and on 7.
Yeah, so we'll be looking into all of those things. Yes.
We saw two gentlemen in handcuffs up the street. Can you tell us if how that relates?
So through this process, we have detained individuals. I don't know the current status of that
How many
right now.
individuals have you detained?
I don't have that number.
Have the number of victims changed?
Not since. I think what Glenn gave you is where we're at right now.
Chief, are your gang investigators here, and do you think this is gang connected somehow?
It's probably too early to say it's gang related, but yes, our gang detectives are here, and we're definitely looking at that angle.
How big is the scene? I mean, we got pushed back a little bit, and I know we got Chopper up there showing some things, but how big of a scene are we looking at here as far as looking at the shell casings and all of that?
Yeah, I mean, most of the scene occurred just behind the church there, so that the immediate scene, and then of course we've got some area cordoned off. But the extent of what we've looked at from the initial shooting is right behind the church.
Can you talk about the Valley-wide police response tonight? Can you talk about the Valley-wide police response tonight?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to those agencies who did respond and who are still here helping us. I think that's one of the great things about Utah is that when an incident like this occurs, we all come together. Because this was called out as an active shooter, that's what elicited the type of response.
What can the public do to help you at this point?
So we would ask the public to call our non-emergency line if they have any information, 799-3000. Of course, if there's an emergency, then call 911.
Can you tell us anything more about the nature of the altercation that we heard about that occurred before?
I don't have that information right now, but that that will come out as the investigation progresses.
Have you ID'd the vehicle?
I don't believe that we've ID'd the vehicle.
Any suspect descriptions?
No, we're looking into that right now with the video surveillance. As soon as we get a video surveillance,
Was there video inside the church?
I don't know that.
So video from.
We're looking at these surrounding businesses. Yeah, to see anything up this way as well.
It happened at a church. Do we think religion played a part in this at all?
We don't believe this was a targeted attack against against a religion or anything like that. We don't believe at this point that this was random.
How large is the search radius for the suspects? Is it just controlled here, or are you guys searching?
We're going to follow. We're going to search wherever we find leads across this valley.
But again, for the people around, other people, you don't believe other people are in danger as a result of this?
Well, we can't say that. We just had some people shot, but we don't believe that it was. We don't believe. Let's see, how am I saying? We believe this was not a random incident.
Danger to the public with the suspect still at large?
Again, we don't. Again, I'm going to just say it again. We don't believe this was random. So we believe but we can't say. We have people that have shot people that are out in our community, and we're going to keep looking for them until we find them.
But it appears as though whoever opened fire and the folks inside somehow knew one another. These weren't complete strangers. They were at or near the church.
That's what we're investigating.
I'll make brief remarks. Absolutely condolences to the families and the victims. This should never have happened. This should never have happened outside a place of worship. It should not have happened at a celebration of life that was occurring inside of the church tonight. Our condolences continue to grow, and we know that this impacts not only those victims and their families, the community that was at the church, but the entire community here in Salt Lake City and on the west side. I also know that Salt Lake City Police Department, and a great thanks also to our fire department, who have been great partners in collaborating in this incident, are not going to rest until the individuals responsible are brought to justice. Full stop. No matter where they go, we will find them. They will be brought to justice. So we will give you another update before the night ends, and we'll have another moment in the morning to bring any new information or simply tell you that what we know is still what we know. So those are the updates that we have for tonight, and I think we've answered your questions. If there's any more, we don't have any greater information to share with you at this time.
Mayor, real quickly, what do your staff talk about after something like this? I mean, moving forward, I know you can't prevent, but you got to look at things like this probably and have a discussion and think, okay, is there anything we can do? How do we move forward?
You know, while this investigation is still evolving and unfolding, we really can't analyze what was the motivation, how could this have been prevented, except to know that our police department, our fire department respond extremely quickly. Victims who were on site were taken to hospital immediately, and I'm really proud of our police department, our fire department, and grateful for the other agencies who are assisting. Until we know more about this and the investigation gives us more information, we can't start to make assumptions about what happened here or why it happened.
What I can tell you, our officers will not rest until we bring justice, and we will be here for the community. And in the days to come, we will be here in the area, connecting with the community, working with them, doing what we can to make people feel safe. And I want to thank our officers. I also want to thank the fire department and all of the assisting agencies, and thank you to all of them.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, no time to D-mic.
Yeah, good luck. I hope you can just start off.
Reacting to this tragedy that happened just a few blocks away from here. Again, we're not learning any more about the suspects at this time. What we are learning, though, is that they have detained some folks. They didn't say how many people have been detained at this point. That's something that they are still keeping close to the vest as this investigation continues. We're also learning that potentially the gang unit is in charge, is taking part of this investigation as well. But again, still not a lot of answers at this point, Brian.
Jordan, it's hard to hear you right now. It sounds like maybe we're getting audio from another microphone or whatnot. But let me get you to work on that for a moment, and let's do a quick recap. We've just heard from Salt Lake City Police Chief Brian Redd. Interestingly enough, Salt Lake's fairly new police chief, you remember he was sworn in earlier this year in the springtime, coming over from the Department of Corrections. So this is the first mass shooting situation that we have seen him deal with, although there was the No Kings protest shooting over the summertime where a man, Afa Alu, was shot and killed during the No Kings protest there, Brian Redd, police chief, during that time. So this is not his first critical incident, to say the least. Let's go back to Jordan. We think we got the audio bugs worked out. Jordan, what did you take away from that news conference? I thought it was interesting that earlier tonight we were talking about likely one suspect, but now we're hearing from police they're using the term suspects.
Yeah, that is something that I pinpointed right away, Brian, and asked the chief to clarify, because again, in his statement, he used shooters, plural. And then when I asked to clarify if that means they have confirmed that there are multiple, and he said, no, they don't have that confirmed. So again, that is something that we're still continuing to figure out. And again, I don't know how much what you heard when I recapped a little bit earlier. Again, they have the gang unit on scene investigating. They're not making any assumptions here whether or not this could have been gang related, but the gang unit is a part of this investigation to find out if that is a piece of this. One thing they said is that there is no evidence that this was any type of hate crime against the members of the church, that it was not a random incident here, seemed to be contained to whatever was taking place at this viewing here for that family member that had passed away a few days ago that we heard from the cousin of a little bit earlier tonight. And again, the victim number has not changed, but what we have learned is that these are all adult victims. victims. That was a question in our mind of the age range in here. They described them all as adults. The same number, again, hasn't changed. 8 people in total. 2 are dead, 3 in critical condition, the others in unknown condition at this point as they continue to gather more information. And another thing is, there's been, you heard from Bion earlier that someone may have been detained, and we asked if these are known suspects. They said no suspects that they know of have actually been arrested at this point, but they do say that they have detained some people. And I asked how many people have they detained. They weren't able to give that number as well. So again, it seems that this investigation is still coming together, but they've learned a lot, they said, from tips from the public, as well as getting video surveillance footage from places around the church. So again, we're still developing this story. We're expecting another update tonight, is what they said. Hopefully more information on who they believe these suspects are. And again, we talked about the search for these suspects a little bit earlier, Brian. You know, they're used to the helicopters. And I asked, well, how large is this search radius? Because, you know, that can kind of maybe tell us how close they are. And the only answer we got from the chief there is that they're willing to go all across the valley to find the people responsible, Brian.
Well, and you know, Utah's a big state. It's a big place. The metro is large. The outlying areas are large. There are many places someone could flee and attempt to hide from police. Jordan, now that we know that there are likely several suspects, what are some of the tools that police could use to try to track these people down? I know that we have an extensive network of traffic cameras. No doubt that is going to be a tool here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be checking any type of surveillance that could have picked up anything that happened anywhere around this meeting house tonight for this viewing. They're going to use traffic cameras. They're going to try to identify suspect vehicles if they were able to flee by vehicle, or try to pick them up on foot as well. Again, when a situation like this occurs, first and foremost, you see the large police presence that is still here tonight. And it's not just Salt Lake City police. There are police from all across the valley. When there is a call for an active shooter situation, which is what they were called in here, they bring everybody. Everybody responds from the county level throughout the valley to try to get as many resources as possible to aid in this situation. Again, that search for a suspect, the other thing they're going to rely on is talking to witnesses and talking to family members that were at this viewing to see if there's any connection there, if it's maybe members of the family or people who they knew, to try to figure out and pinpoint who this is. Again, police not revealing tonight, Brian, if the suspects are known, if there's somebody that they're specifically searching for, if there's any description. Of course, that would help the public at home to keep on the lookout, but that's not something they are releasing at this time.